Welcome to the live stream of consciousness. The live stream of consciousness is on a quest to unravel the mysteries of existence. Every episode, we ask the fundamental question, what is consciousness? Is consciousness merely a product of our brains, or does it connect us to something greater? Explore the very fabric of our thoughts. Don't miss a moment. Expand your awareness and tap into the boundless potential that resides within you. Welcome to the live stream of consciousness.
Yes, welcome to the live stream of consciousness. I am Michael Zinn, and I am here. It is 2024. Can you believe it? I'm actually kind of psyched because it's only the second week of 2024, and last year every week I was like, oh my God, this week passed. It's the next week. Do you believe it? It's another week, and then boom, a whole year passed. But I'm taking it nice and slow this year. So it's January 11th. It's the second week of the year. Welcome everybody to 2024. I see Ninja Kitty's out there. I see Grace Grella is out there. I see a new name, Kathy. What's up, Kathy? Welcome to the show. If you are new and you subscribe, I will actually ring this bell live for you. So I won't ask you to ring any bells, but I will ring the bell, the subscription bell. So welcome. And Grace is watching on both platforms. Thank you, Grace, always for your support. And yesterday was Ninja Kitty's birthday, and Jesse Howell is out there. What's up, Jesse Howell? Good friend with the Missing Link podcast. Something very cool you guys should check out. If you don't know Jesse Howell's show, he always has amazing guests with very, very interesting perspectives and knowledge and opinions, and the opinions hereof, or whatever, not everybody's, but all good. I see Helen out there. I see Janice out there. I got to get one of those magic mirrors. I see Janice. I see Helen. I see Kathy. This is cool. It's 2024. It's the live stream of consciousness. I'm super excited. Even though, unfortunately, Kathy, if you are here for Mick Thomas, that is going to be rescheduled. He contacted me today, and he had a pretty heavy personal situation that he needed to attend to, and he said basically his head was not in the right spot, and would I mind rescheduling. And of course, there's no pressure here. We're here in the moment, and if the moment isn't feeling good for you, then go be in your own moment somewhere where you need to feel good. So I'm wishing Mick Thomas the best. Mick Thomas, if you don't know, I will give him a little bit of a shout out, a bit of a presence here on this episode. So let me share some things here with you guys. I have a Chrome tab. Let's see. So Mick Thomas was a guest on Stand Up Memories, which is where I met him with Jackie and Peter. And this was a little clip that we took from the show. Let me share this with you guys. I guess I gotta put it over here so I can control it. And here it is. And hopefully you guys can hear this and everything is good. Don't know why my mouse just said mouse off. Oh, for some reason my mouse turned off. So give me a second. It will connect again. Hopefully, connected. There we go.
But this guy has boxing in his DNA.
Kickboxing and boxing. Yeah.
Boxing and kickboxing.
Yeah.
Kickboxing.
Right.
Now, when did you start doing boxing?
Well, I did boxing when I moved here because there was no kickboxing, because MMA was just taking off.
Okay.
So there was no, hey, let's go to do one kickboxing class. So I said, you know what, I'll go to the Golden Gloves. And I just slid into the Golden Gloves. And I did that, and I got beat.
That is
Amazing.
Something I can't comprehend. Boxing, I can't comprehend. But kickboxing, I mean, why not just walk in front of a fire truck? It's crazy.
Sometimes it's like that, man. But you know what? It made stand-up very easy, because I remember getting knocked out in front of 4,000 people. right? That's embarrassing. If someone doesn't laugh at your joke, who gives a crap? You know, what's the worst can happen to you?
It puts things in perspective.
Yeah, of course it does.
There you go. So that was a bit of Mick Thomas on Stand Up Memories. He was just such a great guy. And I was like, hey, are you a little spiritual? And he said he would love to be a guest on the show. So we will reschedule him. I'll probably call him in about a week or two just to check in and see how he's feeling and when he's feeling comfortable. He's also got his own YouTube channel and a podcast called Cheaper Than Therapy, which I started listening to. It's very funny. So check him out on YouTube. And that's it about Mick Thomas for tonight, I guess. I have a couple of options. I was going to just talk about a couple of things about 2024. I invited a couple of people to just pop on if they wanted to. I sent out the links if you're interested in just popping on and saying what's up and what your plans are for 2024. I'm down. Let's talk about it. Let me know. I'll send you a link and you can pop on, or you can actually also call in. I have a call-in line. Let's try that. I haven't really done that on the live stream of consciousness, but I have with Grace Grella, and I'm just going to pop that number up here. So if you're watching on your computer and you got your phone nearby and you want to call, you can call. If you do call, make sure you turn the volume down on your computer, so that I guess let me share this window so that there's no echo. Let's see if I can share this window. This is a voice call window. To share audio, share tab. Instead, I have to share it as a tab. I will do that. Oh, one of the other things I wanted to do was I figured I could clean house, which sounds kind of interesting, right? But I want to clean house. So StreamYard, the program that I use to do this broadcast, it's like got an interface on my screen right now, and I'm clicking around doing all sorts of stuff and bringing up your comments and this and that. And I have a bunch of banners in my system that are just from the whole, I think, 2 years that I've been doing this. So I wanted to go through them and erase them one at a time, and just give homage to each person whose banner we're speaking of. So Kathy has a great question. What exactly is the live stream of consciousness? I love that. I think that's the first time I've ever gotten that question in the comments, and I'm surprised in 2 years. The live stream of consciousness is this moment right now that you're in and that you're sharing with me. But it was really started as a broadcast with me and Jesse Blaze Snyder. And it came from doing a show. He was doing a show about the 13 universal laws of the universe. And, well, that would make them universal laws. 13 universal laws. And he really enjoyed it. And he said, hey, I love this platform. Let's continue to do a show. And we loved the live aspect of it, because I can put up your comment, I can answer your question and engage with you in this moment. So it's like a stream of consciousness, quote, get the pun there. And then we started to have some amazing guests. I was friends, and I resonate with a lot of interesting metaphysical people, like psychic mediums and things like that. So I was having a lot of my friends on the show who were guests like that, people who have experienced near-death experiences and things like that. And it's just been such a fun journey. And I never expected to be in front of the camera. I was always producing from behind the camera. I'm a graphic designer. I did some of the graphics on the show. I did all of that stuff, and I wanted to talk about that too. But that's what the live stream of consciousness is. And if you're a friend of Mick's and you were here hoping to see him, again, I appreciate you coming by in support of Mick. But Mick was somebody who I met. I produced the show, the Stand Up Memories show, and he was a guest, and we just hit it off. He was just a really great guy. And so I invited him on the show. He was really upset that he couldn't be on tonight, but he said he was looking forward to it and he would come back. But anyway, I see Tim is out there saying hola to everybody. Tim is a usual viewer here. So Kathy, meet Tim. Everybody in the audience, get acquainted. And oh, you know what? I realize I have that number set on do not disturb, so I should turn it off so I can actually receive a call if somebody wants to call in. And then I said, Helen is saying I'm usually here just to connect with you, Michael. So I figured, that's part of my purpose on this planet is, kind of some people feel kind of calm around me and they like my presence. So I figured I would offer that to the world in some degree, I guess. And Kathy saying, I do know Mick. Cool. Yeah, Mick is an awesome guy. He's a comedian from Ireland, like I said, and I thought that clip was interesting because he had done kickboxing, and he's just had an interesting one of these people who does a lot of different things and has an interesting career and perspective on life, which is what I wanted to talk to him about. And I'm excited to actually get to know him, and have him on the show. He's great. And I see Mary Jean G out there. What's up, Mary Jean? Good to see you. Thank you for coming. Good energy, Michael, Grace, thank you. Good energy is what I am all about. That's what the live stream is of consciousness is. Good energy. Good answer, Grace. I think that was Grace's answer too. What is the live stream of consciousness? So anyway, I do have something interesting to share with you guys. Let me bring this up. I have been doing sessions with a woman named Wendy Gale. I don't know if you guys remember Wendy Gale. Wendy Gale was a guest on the show. She is a intuitive and she is a channel, and she channels Metatron, which is one presence, entity, angel. I've been doing a little research. Metatron is a Hebrew angel who is an entity who represents kind of the connection between the divine realm and the human realm. So Metatron is like the protector of the human realm. Mary Jean is asking if it's a call-in show. It is and it isn't. I mean, I guess I'm not really a psychic medium or anything, but I love having conversations. If you call in, I'll probably ask you to answer the question that I always ask here, which if you're a watcher of the show, if you don't, then call in and find out. That would be cool. And yeah, now I lost track. What was I talking about before that? I was talking about Wendy Gale. And so viewers of the show know that I was doing an Akashic Records class for a little bit with Lynn, and Wendy was in that class. I met a lot of interesting people in that class who I connected with. So that's where Wendy came from to be on the show. And so we have been working together one-on-one. She's been channeling Metatron, and I've been kind of spending an hour with Metatron for the last couple of weeks, and I have another couple of weeks. So I'm excited about that. Kathy, I do believe in angels. Excellent. That's why you came to the live stream of consciousness. There you go. It's just been really interesting. It's a Zoom conference, and Metatron has given me permission to use some of the recordings. So I wanted to talk about this because let me just hide myself for a minute. I don't think I can do it and put up the new graphic, but that new graphic that you see behind me is this nice big brain on top of a stream, the stream of consciousness. And I had just recently started this whole rebrand. So people who have been here for a while are noticing the new graphic behind, hopefully. Let me just hide myself for a quick second. There's the new graphic. And it's just this really cool brain, and I really loved it. I've been working with AI a bit, and that was what I did during the week. And then I had a conference with Metatron, with Wendy and Metatron, and well, let me just play this video.
So as we start today, we want to talk about your brain.
Okay.
That beautiful brain. You have a beautiful brain. It is analytical and explores things that so many others do not, right? Your soul has had the curiosity and the ability to entertain what are the ideas that and the understandings, not just the ideas, but the understandings that many have not. And so we want to talk about your brain because your brain, you know what your brain looks like, right? It has two hemispheres and it has a membrane in the center.
So there you go. Amazing. Look at me. I'm smiling because it was just such an amazing moment to have this conversation with Wendy and have her talk about my brain, right? And now she was just talking about something totally different. She wasn't talking about the graphic at all. She was talking about my brain and how I think about things. And we were just having this conversation. What's up, Jessica Kalushin? Good to see you out there. And as she was saying it and I was listening to it, and of course I was feeling like it was a little stroke of the ego, like, oh, you like my brain and the way I think about things. And of course that's nice to hear. But all I could see in my head were these images that I had been working with AI for the new branding of this beautiful brain. It's a very colorful brain. It's like it's crazy. So there was definitely layers of meaning in the conversation that we had. It was just so cool to have this conversation, and I love the archangels. I do too. It's very interesting to me because I personally, and this is a conversation I've been having with a lot of people who are close to me. I personally don't experience my angels and my guides the way that a lot of people describe them, as very, very specific presences, very specific entities. They present themselves to people as visions, and for me it's always been more of like a feeling or just like kind of a knowing, not something that comes to me with any of the clairs, right? It doesn't come to me clair audio, clair visual, clair sentient. It's I guess it is one of the clairs. One of the clairs is feeling. So it's just like a feeling and just a knowing. And it's just very cool because a few years ago, if you asked me about trans channels, I would have said, yeah, it's a little much for me. It's a little out there. But getting to know some of these people and having visceral emotional reactions to sessions and things that I've seen and heard really validate it for me. For me, when I have an emotional response to something, I feel like that's really bringing the an ethereal sense of thought and feeling to a physical level, right? Your throat chokes up, your eyes start to water. It's really manifesting a thought into a physical thing. So to me that's very significant. And Sarah Curley, who's been a guest on the show, was one of the channels who I had that reaction to for the first time. So previous to that, I was like, yeah, not for me. And then suddenly I was like, oh, Sarah, do you do a one-on-one session? And so we did a one-on-one session, and I had an emotional reaction again. And I think there are certain people that are on the same vibration level that I resonate with. And I'm sure you guys feel this too. Mary Jean is saying same here about the feeling and the knowing. I think that's what she's talking about. But I think now I lost what I was saying. People, what the heck was I saying? Oh, I love these conversations so much. I think I just got overexcited. Um, I do have the phone line up and running if you want to call in and talk. Oh, Sarah Curley. Thank you, Janice. I was talking about Sarah Curley. So Sarah was amazing. I did some work with her. I got to know her. I did. And it gave me a whole new perspective of the whole realm of channeling. Energy, frequency, and vibration. Grace is saying we always talk about that, and that's it. When you can look at something like a channeler and understand that that's what you're witnessing, right? You're witnessing somebody connecting with an energy, a frequency, and a vibration in a way that I think has just not been common. And I think that's what's kind of cool about it for me, because it hasn't been common, but it feels so ancient to me. It feels very, very real and very connected to source, to something oh, excuse me, outside myself that I don't understand. And it almost gives me the comfort of, I don't want to say understanding it, but I do want to say touching it and being in its presence. And that's what I think the trance channelers that I'm comfortable with bring to me. So I'm able to take deep breaths and put myself in a state of mind to receive that connection. And so the way that channeler happens to be channeling is connecting, and I think it's great. And Helen is saying that's part of our connection, how we channel. I agree. I think when you make a connection with somebody and you're on that same vibration, that's what I'm talking about, Helen. You know, we vibrate the same way about so many things. It's really interesting. I had posted this picture. I don't want to start digging through Facebook or do anything like that, but I had posted this image of a sculpture that I did of a pregnant woman, and it was very primitive. It was like a native sculpture. It looked like it was an archaeological find, right? Very abstract. I think it was inspired by excuse me, it was inspired by Easter Island. So the head of this woman was very generic with just face. Oh, and a phone call. Look at that. Oh, I'm excited. Let me add this to the stage and answer the call. Hold on a second. I need to go to a different layout. Hello there. This is Michael. You are on the air. Can you hear me? Oh, allow mic access. Hello there. This is Michael. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Hello. Who am I speaking to?
This is Mary Jean G.
Hey, what's up, Mary Jean G? How are you doing?
All right. I just thought I'd call in and say hi.
Oh, you know what? You just did your job. That's what I put the number up there for. So somebody would call in and say hi and connect to the show. How did you find out about the show? Just curious.
I found you through Danielle Lipton. She was on, and
Yes.
I'm a follower. I follow her. She is awesome. She's my teacher.
She is awesome. That was an
Yes.
awesome episode. I loved speaking with her, and actually, I'm still connected with her. I say hello every once in a while to her. So how is that going?
Oh, I love it. She does the shadow work, Zooms, and everything, and she's really helped me a lot. I mean, I haven't had any sessions with her or anything, but just from watching her and all that, she's activated me a lot more.
That's really cool.
I've been watching her for like a year now. Well, ever since her channel started, actually.
You know what? Go ahead.
I found her on Tina.
You found her on Tina?
Yeah, it's Tina or something. Tina. She was on there, and then she started her own channel.
Oh, okay. It was somebody else's show. You know what I was going to say? That's what I love about this platform, is that people are just having conversations, talking about things that I think are not talked about in public, and making connections. And like you said, you didn't have a one-on-one session with her, but even just watching her show and listening to her talk about the information she's talking about helped you and connected with you. I think that's amazing. I love that people are using this platform for that.
Yes, and also I would like to share what happened to me 2 days ago.
Yes, awesome.
I was outside and I was walking, and I kind of knew that somebody was watching me from the clouds. I know everybody probably thinks I'm nuts. I don't care. But anyway, this is my world. Okay, so I come back from walking. I walked 2 miles. I came back. I sat on my porch, and they had this cloud come up. There was no other clouds in the sky, okay? Nowhere. There was only this one cloud. This one cloud comes up so close to me, and it comes right over my house, okay? So I pulled up the video camera as soon as I saw it coming,
Wow.
because I know that they're in the clouds. The beings, you know. I don't know if y'all know the star people. They're in the clouds.
Yeah,
I capture them all the time on camera.
that's
But
amazing.
anyway, when I was taking my video, I was like, it was so awesome. I was so happy. And then I come in and I shared my video with my friend, and then she calls me real quick and she's like, do you know that there's 2 ships in your video? So there was 2 ships that came across, 2 UFOs, zoomed across when I was taking the video. And then after that, I was like, oh, I was happy from that, okay? And then I leave I'm kind of nervous.
Oh, don't be nervous.
Being on the phone.
This is what we love talking about. So this is, I really appreciate you sharing this. That's great.
And I had to go check my mail. This was a couple of hours later. I went to check the mail. I'm walking down the street, and all of a sudden I turn to my left, and there's a cloud right there, and I just kept staring at it, and all of a sudden it turned into a heart. And I knew that it was for me because I always send my hand hearts to them.
Wow.
Every time they are here, I send my heart hands to them.
That's
and
awesome.
it formed right in front of my eyes.
I love that.
And I got it on my camera.
Oh, wow.
On my phone.
Do you share that stuff online at all, or do you want to share that? Send that to me, and
actually, I have a channel.
You do? Oh, excellent. What's your channel? Hold on. Let me. I'll put a banner up with your channel.
It's in my community page, the 2 UFOs and the cloud.
Oh, I want to see
that I took
this.
a picture of.
All right. So what's the channel? Where can we find this?
It's let me see what it says. I got to make sure I'm giving you the right one. It's at Mary JG 3916.
At Mary JG 3916. All right, I'm gonna put that up across the bottom there.
Yeah, I started that channel like 3 months ago.
Awesome. I'm excited. I'm gonna check it out. I may ask you to be a guest on the show. What do you think about that? Would you be interested?
I'm kind of I'll be nervous.
Why? I mean, Grace Grell is out there saying awesomeness, Mary Jean. I think that's great. See that people don't think you're crazy here because we're all crazy here.
I hope everybody goes and checks my channel out. It's all about the archangels, and just I pull cards for the collective.
Well, I'm glad you found the show, and why don't you subscribe? If you subscribe to my channel, I'll subscribe to your channel. And
yeah, I'm already subscribed to your channel.
There you go. I'll ring the bell for you. Thank you so much. That's awesome. Yeah, this is a great way for people to connect and have these conversations and grow the community. So we definitely support you. Hopefully, people will go to your show, your channel. I know I will, and check it out. I appreciate everything. I appreciate you calling in. How cool is that? I opened the phones for the first time tonight, and there you go. And Helen saying, Mary Jean, if I could do it, you definitely can. So Helen was also very nervous about being on the show, and she did an amazing job. She was on, I think, last week. And so if you go back in the channel, you can see her. But Mary Jean, thank you so much for showing up today and sharing your story. And I hope you stay on and we can be part of the community.
I will.
Awesome. Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
All right. I'll talk to you later.
Have a great night. Bye-bye. Wow. How cool was that? 2024 is off to an amazing start. I opened up the phone lines and got a caller. I just made it happen. Mary Jean and me manifested that whole thing. So I appreciate that. So I was talking about the rebranding that I did here with the live stream, the new video and the new graphics. Helen Wagner, very cool, right? Isn't that cool? I asked for something to happen tonight. My guest canceled, and I said I'm just going to go live. I know something's going to happen, and it did. So I could sign off right now, but I'm too pumped up. So the phone lines are still open if somebody wants to call in. But I wanted to talk about some of the stuff that I've been doing, because I figured that would be kind of cool too. So I've been having these conversations with Wendy and my moments with Metatron, and I think that might be a new segment that we do here. And I think Metatron may actually make a guest appearance on the show, which would be very cool. How cool would that be? I have a podcast, and my guests are actually not in this realm. My guests come from other realms to be on the show. Wow. I just blew my own mind with that thought. But anyway, I do want to share this little story about how that segment was created. So let me see if I present. I have to stop the screen. I can present and share the screen now, and I want to share the Chat GPT screen. There we go. So I was working with Chat GPT, and thank you guys for sticking with me. For those of you who are still here and having fun with me, I was working with Chat GPT. Let's see if I got a different screen here. So I said to Chat GPT, basically, I said Metatron. I was like, let me just see, how much do I need to say to ChatGPT to get an image? And ChatGPT answered me with a little history. Metatron's a figure found primarily in mystical Jewish texts, particularly in Kabbalistics and Hasidic teachings. According to these traditions, Metatron is a powerful angel who serves as a scribe and an intermediary between divine and humanity. He is often associated with the prophet Enoch, with some legends suggesting that Enoch was transformed into Metatron after ascending to heaven. So I was excited about this. Now I was learning a little bit more about Metatron, who I'm talking to, and I'm creating some graphics. And I said to ChatGPT, so Chat was basically telling me, okay, what do you want? So I said, can I see a visualization? I want to produce a series of video shorts called Moments with Metatron. Can you produce a cool thumbnail image? So this is what Chat GPT produced, these two beautiful, beautiful images. And interesting for anybody who's been following along about my recent fascination and reconnection with the Hebrew letter symbols. I went to a bar mitzvah over the last summer, and the Hebrew prayers were being projected on the walls. And I was looking at the letters, and I was remembering Hebrew school. I had learned the Hebrew alphabet. I had learned what each letter was. I learned how to read Hebrew. And so that was something that I had recently reconnected with and felt some sort of significance in. And when these images came up, I was like, oh man. And when that paragraph came up about the Hebrew angel, or I thought that was great. So Dali gave me, here are the two visions you requested, and I said, can you somewhat represent the moment part as well? Maybe with an hourglass or an ancient clock. So these are the new images that Chat GPT presented to me with. So this also, I figured this would be good to go over if you're not familiar with the AI stuff that you're hearing all of this about. Chat GPT and image generators. I figured this might be a cool little primer for those of you who don't really know what's going on and haven't seen it and how it all happens. Let me go back to, I don't necessarily want to be interrupted, but if you want to call in, I'm just going to go back to the phone number at the bottom there. So anyway, continuing on with Chat GPT, I liked, of course, the imagery is beautiful, but I wasn't loving the hourglass. So I said, I don't like it in front. What about making the background more like an ancient Hebrew clock? And then I got these two great images, and I think I was really getting happy with what I was getting. This one I didn't love. There's not a lot of detail on the face here, you could see. But this one, I love the position of it. I love the the representation of this Hebrew kind of time traveling thing. I don't know. I was really having fun working with this. And then I said, "Ooh, I like that first one a lot. Can you bring Metatron closer to the front?" And I was thinking in my head, here's where AI doesn't always do exactly what you want. I was thinking like almost like Metatron's face like this in the frame, like my face is, and then in the background you would see the stuff. But I did love these little pillars popping out of the ocean here. I thought this was kind of all interesting, and I love the sacred geometry here at the bottom. So again, I'm just experimenting with AI because of what I do for a living. I think it's a tool that needs to be explored, and all of that stuff. And then I think I asked it for one more. Nope, I said I love it. Thanks. I'm very polite with ChatGPT, and that was it. That was the whole process there, for moments with Metatron and the imagery that I did. And I see conversations are happening. Grace is saying beautiful visuals. Thank you, Grace. I see Tim says he'd like to call in, but he's trying to get Taryn to go to sleep. It's 11:30 there. Oh, Tim, that's all good. Taryn, oh, but somebody's calling in. We got a call. Nope, somebody was calling in and then stopped. Tim, if that was you, I didn't mean to tell you not to call, but I was just trying to tell you, maybe you need to pay attention to Tim. What is up? Oh my God. It's George Monty from the True Life Podcast. What is up, buddy? Great show, brother. Yes, great show for you too. I don't know if you're available, but if you are, I'll send you a quick link. You can come say hello. I'm just starting off the year. My guest, unfortunately for tonight, had to cancel. So I'm just running the show, just talking about some of the things that I've been doing. I had this amazing session with Wendy Gale and Metatron, and it led to just some playing around with ChatGPT and creating a new segment for the show called Moments with Metatron. So I'm excited about that. Let me remove that. And that's it. I just, here I am in the live stream of consciousness with you guys. I cannot thank you guys for being here. Oh, and hold on a second. I've got to stop my screen. I've got to present my screen. I've got to share this tab. Share. And hello there. You are live on the live stream of consciousness. Hello. Can you hear me? Hey there. Who do I have on the phone? Oh, Janice, what's happening? I didn't recognize your voice because I could hear the recording in the background. What's up, Janice? I think I might actually continue this call-in thing. I think it's kind of cool allowing people to call in. I think the Metatron segment is going to be a regular segment. I see Jesse saying thanks. What's up? And him saying hola, True Life. Missing Link is saying I can't hear them. Can you guys hear the phone calls? I don't know if you can or you can't. Hopefully you can. Yes, you are. I can hear you fine. You can't hear Janice. Oh, you know what? Hold on, Janice. I'm going to remove you from the stage for a second. Oh, I have to add you to the stage. That's why people couldn't hear you. Hey, Janice, welcome to the live stream.
Welcome to the live stream.
I'm sorry. I should know how to run this thing by now, but I forgot that the old way that I did this initially, that I had to add this into the window. The new way that I'm doing it with Grace, I don't have to do that. So anyway, welcome to the live stream. People couldn't hear you before. You had asked me a question. You said, what are the plans for 2024 for the live stream? So I had started. Thank you guys for telling me that. I have a good audience, man. I appreciate you guys telling me what's going on and what you're experiencing when it's different than what I'm experiencing. But anyway, so for 2024, I think I'm going to continue this call-in thing. I might have to remember which I'm doing, if it's Grace's show or my show, because when I have a remote guest, I have to do it a different way so everybody could hear everybody. but I'm gonna continue the call and try. This is my first time doing it in 2024, and I've got 2 calls already. So I must be doing something right. Um, and then the other thing is the Metatron segment. That's been really great. The conversations have been really kind of mind blowing, and for me, I've been looking for my connection to kind of present itself, and I think it is it's presenting itself in the way that I'm looking for it. So
Wonderful.
what about you? What are your plans for 2024?
Still talking peace.
You're
I'm
still
still
talking
talking
peace.
peace.
So for those folks who don't know, the quiet healer Janice has her own show called Unique Peace, which is usually Sunday mornings at 9 o'clock, but sometimes she switches it up. Let me just see. I'm looking to see if I have a banner here for Unique Peace. I have so many. I wanted to do a little house cleaning. I don't have it, but thequiethealer.com. I'm gonna, maybe I'll make a new one. But you know what? I'm gonna do my cleaning house segment in just a second when I'm done talking to you. But okay, so you're still talking peace in 2024. You got any plans to do anything different with the podcast? You just kind of still
Still
excited about
doing the same thing with the podcast,
Yeah.
and I'm going to be doing some sound healings. Well, learning how to do sound healings.
Nice.
And, by middle of the year, I'll start using my bowls for
Nice.
sound healing. And
Nice.
but until then, learning.
I happen to know personally that Janice just got a nice set of crystal bowls that are actually really a lot stronger than what I remember experiencing. They're just so loud and fill you up with so much vibration. So yeah, I'm excited about that. We'll have to have you on the show and doing that when you got it all set up.
Sounds good.
Cool. Well, thank you so much for calling in. I cannot tell you how much I appreciate it and love hearing your voice. And Helen, I think Helen was out there saying something about hearing your voice. Grace says, thanks for giving Janice a voice. It's great to hear your voice. Yes, you guys can all hear now. Awesome. Yeah, I'm digging this call-in format. So I think that's going to be part of the new year too.
Great. Have a good night.
Awesome. I will talk to you soon. Have a good night. Yes. Bye. Awesome. So two call-ins I got tonight. That's awesome. I think the call-in thing is definitely gonna happen. Helen, I always wanted a crystal bowl. Yeah, the crystal bowls and sound healing. So let's talk about that for just a minute. Sound healing is something that you just have to experience. It kind of sounds weird. But I think that when you experience something like the crystal bowls, you feel it. Again, it's not something that you really can explain. You just feel it inside. When I first heard a crystal bowl, it felt like it was coming from inside of me. I was like, the sound actually felt like it was coming from inside of me out, and it just blew my mind. And so I've been a fan of sound healing and all of that for a while. Speaking of the plans for 2024, not to give too much away, but Janice and I are working on the sound healing experience. I'm working on doing some visuals that will surround her while she's doing the sound healing and present kind of an environment for her to do the sound healing in. So that's something that I've just put out into the universe verbally. I don't think I have in the public before. Janice and I have been talking about it, but yeah, that's going to happen this year too. I'm excited. It's something I've been talking about actually for a couple of years. I have George, what is the difference between resonance and frequency? Oh, that is a good question. I wish you would come on and we can try to figure that out together. I think that frequency is the vibration, and resonance, I guess resonance for me, when I think of the word resonance, I think of resonating with something. So I feel like resonance is kind of like maybe the another term for the signature, the frequency's signature that you connect with. George is driving. He said, I'm driving. Let's set it up though. Yes, let's definitely set up a session, a podcast. I don't know. So George does his own podcast, the True Life podcast, and I've seen a few episodes, and George has the most incredible energy and kind of this wisdom that is otherworldly. And it's he talks about psychedelic plant medicine, and psychedelic experiences. I'm wondering if I should maybe we should maybe take a mushroom together and have a psychedelic experience on a podcast live. I wonder how that would go. You've probably done it already, but anyway. So Helen is saying maybe the creation of the vibration. So the creation of the vibration is resonance. Is that what you're saying? I believe resonance is I'm not really sure. Janice is saying the quality in a sound of being deep, full, and reverberating, that would be resonance. I think resonance is a little bit more related to frequency. I almost feel like that's a good question, George, because I feel like resonance is another way to say frequency. Like, what's the resonance of something? What is the signature of it? So I don't know if you guys remember, I was using the word energetic signature, right? That was another word and another way to describe a frequency, I think. Frequency is the rate at which something occurs or is repeated over a particular time or a given sample. So compare that to resonance, Janice. What are you saying? I'm not sure. And Helen is saying, send me some. Helen, maybe we can have a 3-way podcast and do some mushrooms. I think that might be something interesting for 2024. You know what have we got to lose, really? George is saying, yay, great points. Totally. I agree. Can't wait to check you out and Janice's show together. Yeah, Janice's show is really amazing. Janice, basically talks to people and asks them, for their path to peace. What brings them peace? Like, do they go swimming in the lake naked, or do they go to the beach? Is it normal? Is it weird? Is it as simple as just getting away from the kids? Those kinds of things. It's great conversations. Very cool stuff. 3-way mushrooms. George is saying 3-way mushrooms. I don't know where the show is going today. A little bit off the rails, but that's the way it's supposed to be. Tim is saying, send me some shrooms and I'll come on the True Life podcast as well. Tim is in Brazil. So now we're talking about, and Tim is in Brazil and George is in Hawaii. So now we're talking about a intercontinental psychedelic experience live on the internet. I think we may be onto something new here. I don't know if anyone has done that. I think we'd all have to figure out like when we're going to peak together, unless we do like an 8-hour broadcast. But that's kind of interesting. So I don't know how long I've been talking for. It's 9:50. Holy moly! Again, it's been an interesting day. Mick Thomas just reached out to me. He couldn't make it, and I knew for some reason that it wasn't a problem. I thought it was going to be cool. I thought I figured that this would happen. Exactly what just happened. I figured that this would happen. George is saying peeking through the time zones. I love that. I love the wordplay there. Peeking through time and space. We are peeking through time and space together when we're all taking mushrooms on a psychedelic podcast. We got to come up with, I wonder if they have one of those. I got to take a look. I wonder if there's people who actually just do psychedelics and podcast. They probably do. That probably exists. I feel like there's not a lot of originality left in the world. It probably exists. Grace Grella, always stroking my ego. Great show. This is fun. This is a lot of fun. I love this. I love this moment. I love you know what? It's not like a maniacal power thing, but I love the fact that I created this moment, and here we are all experiencing it together. That's freaking awesome. And having a cool conversation and like talking about things that we might not talk about in public. I mean, I guess we do. We're all the people who are kind of cool. True life. Thank you, George. The show is epic. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Um, I don't feel like it's epic, but I feel like it's certainly fun. It's like, it's dedicated to the moment of being here. I feel like another thing I like was going through that Dali primer. Maybe that's something I'll add to the show. Just kind of talk about how some of the things that I'm doing. We create energy surges for each of us as a group. Helen, sometimes you say the most genius things. I love it. You have so much wisdom. It's so true. When you acknowledge the collective and you are accountable for what you're contributing to it, and not only accountable but now intentional. Come on, man. I think that's the whole secret. I think if only we could all do this, if only we can all be as intentional. Thank you. Helen says, LOL. Thank you. Helen, we were talking about spiritual billionaires, like how cool it was to just be a part of a community, a Facebook group that there's no like, oh my God, like look at all of the Facebook groups. Like no matter what you're doing on Facebook, you could have the most like benign group about crocheting and somebody will say something and then all of a sudden the thread becomes about politics, about about this person doing that, and it's just crazy what happens on Facebook. But there are groups like the Spiritual Billionaires. um there are shows like the Livestream of Consciousness. I love Alex Ferrari. I don't know if you guys know the Next Level Soul podcast. I feel like I'm kind of like a poor man Alex Ferrari, but only because I haven't put the focus into it. I think the Livestream of Consciousness is showing me something, that it should be more of a focus. Relationships are the new currency. Oh, I love that, George. That is such a great conversation, such a great prompt for thought. And it's so true if you think about it. And like, you're not taught enough in school about how important it is, how important your relationships are with other people, and how important it is to be aware of how you're coming off to those other people, how you're making those other people feel, like how much responsibility you have for that. And I don't want to just say responsibility, but like, you are in charge of that. um that's been coming up a lot today. Janice says, I guess about relationships and the new currency. um Chicago, only the beginning. Da-na-na-na-na. Yes, Grace, this is only the beginning. I think, I don't know why I decided to rebrand. I guess I do know why. It was 2024, and I was like, "Oh, time to freshen up the face of the show." And I started doing that, and it's definitely recharged the energy for the live stream. So I have to personally thank all of you guys and ladies and entities and whoever's out there for just plugging in, even if you're just out there watching. I appreciate your energy. It's amazing um, what we can do, as a community, as people who are just connecting with each other. George just said it. Relationships are the new currency. Like the way that we treat each other, if we are just more intentional about that, um, I think, man, there's so much power in that. Those will be better relationships. Those will be that. If you think about that, better relationships are better for the collective consciousness, right? It just means everything gets better. If you're having better relationships, that means the whole entire world is getting better, even by just that little increment. It's just amazing. Mary Jean still hanging with us. Thank you so much, Mary Jean, for being here and sending that love. To Life, George, are you going to have new calendars in 2024? Are you talking about the Women of Armageddon? Because you may, it's definitely too late for 2024. I'll just say that out of experience. I'll say this, it's too late to have a Women of Armageddon 2024 calendar, right? Because the window of sale opportunity for that item is closing starting January 1st. So I'm not going to have a new Women of Armageddon calendar per se. However, the Women of Armageddon content, I'm abundant with it. There's so much Women of Armageddon content that was not released that it still looks good, that's still relevant. The concept itself is still relevant. I don't know if that's what you're talking about, George, but I am saying the concept is still relevant. So you never know what's going to happen in 2024 with the Women of Armageddon. And Ninja Kitty, I've just been listening and taking it all in. I'm so in my happy place with everyone. See that, Ninja Kitty? Ninja Kitty has been here from the beginning of the live stream of consciousness. Ninja Kitty actually commented earlier, I don't think I put it up on the screen, about how awesome Jesse Blaze's 13 Universal Laws class was. And it was a lot of fun. It was like something new for me. I set up my laptop at this place that, it was COVID. They weren't allowed to have public gathering, so I set up my laptop and 2 cameras, and Jesse would give his class. I think we were allowed to have 6 people there or something. It was a very limited thing, but we did a live broadcast, and here we are at the live stream of consciousness. What is it, 3 years later, 2.5 years later? So Ninja Kitty has been there since the beginning. I think Tim Lorenz was also a part of that class. Tim was somebody who I met. Jesse was staying with me back a couple of years ago, and Tim came by, and I met Tim, and he's just an awesome friend of Jesse's and has become an amazing friend of the show. Tim actually makes this show the international presence that it is every week when he signs in, when he's in Brazil. Sometimes he's in the United States. And Jesse is actually, I was hoping he would show up. He's actually staying here with me just for a little bit, temporarily on the East Coast. And he's out at Grayson's concert right now. And I was hoping that he would show up when my guests said they would cancel. I called him up. He said, "Oh, I'm going to be out, but if I get home, I'll pop in." He didn't show up, and it's almost 10 o'clock. So I'm going to start winding down with you guys. I don't know what the consensus is from everybody. I don't know if everybody out there has chimed in and put their name up in the comments there so I can say hello. But feel free to, if you haven't. I don't have the call-in number up there anymore. Next week I'll put the call-in number there. That'll be cool. People, I'm going to have guests, so I'm going to have to do it a different way, but I think I might leave the call-in show for people to call in and talk to my guests. Maybe that's an interesting thing that we can do. If anybody's got anything to say, any feedback for me, say it now. Winding down, I'm just getting warmed up. George says, winding down, you're just getting warmed up. You know what? It could be true. Maybe I need to make the show longer. I feel like I got a good mix of short form and long form content when I make my clips. Helen's saying I will know when it's right to have call-ins. And I think it was right tonight. I got 2 call-ins. I was happy about that. Tim Lorenz is saying a new Women of Armageddon calendar would need a beautiful Brazilian badass, namely Sonia. I've already got a volunteer model for the newest Women of Armageddon calendar. How do you like that? This has been an amazing episode. I think very, 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 very productive. True life, definitely Women of Armageddon of Brazil. That's awesome. And just trying to keep up with all of these great comments. Thank you guys so much. Leela, Ninja Kitty, just wanted to say thank you for all that you do and all you have done. Mike, you're awesome. Thank you, because I can only be awesome if there's somebody to be awesome for. That's not true. I'm awesome. I could be awesome for myself, but I'm more awesome when there's people who think I'm awesome. You know what I mean? So Ninja Kitty, thank you for all you do. 2024 is looking epic for this show. George, You rock. I am so glad you decided to tune into my show while you were driving home. That's cool. And I love that fact. I feel like you know, the idea of getting an ad in the subways or something like that, right? In the subway cars, I'm toying with that for stand-up memories. But what if I did that for the live stream of consciousness, right? So all the people on the train, I can make an ad and say, "Hey, what are you doing right now? You got some moments to tune into an episode and just put on your iPhone and do it." So I don't know. I'm thinking about doing that. I may have just committed myself to it because I spoke it out loud. Anyway, bam, it is 10 o'clock. I am gonna sign off and feel like I have accomplished what I set out to. Real-time clips. Not sure what you mean there. But yeah, real-time clips. Helen, I knew you were special since we first closed 4 or 5 years ago. You are way too sweet, Helen. I guess I knew you were too, right? Or else we wouldn't still be talking to each other and have the relationship that we do. So that's awesome. I don't know. I feel like I don't want to get too personal, although I love every single one of you guys, but I don't want to make this show just like, hey, I'm talking to Helen about how much I love her, or Grace about how much I love her. Although I could do that because I love doing that. It makes me feel good. Folks, say good things to other people. It feels good. Just be a good person. It feels good. This is not something that I'm forcing anybody to do. It's just my perspective of what's a good way to be happy. Helen Wagner, be you, and you be you be I'll be me, you be you, and we can be happy. Guys, thank you so much. I'm gonna play, what am I gonna play? I guess I'm gonna play the old outro. I didn't go through, you know what, I don't know if anybody's got a couple minutes, but Michael Zinn for president 2024. Oh, that's amazing. Another great show. I love you guys loving this shit because this is just me blabbering and connecting with you guys. I love it. So let's clear out this this banner thing, right? So we've got, before reacting, each action, think, hear, evaluate. Who knows what that means? Does anyone know what that means? I know what that means. But this was something that came up in one of the shows. I made a banner for it. I'm purging right now. You guys, this is a new segment, just probably for today, because it's January 11th, purging these things. So who can tell me what that means? And then we got a whole lot of love from Grace Grella. So what this means is breathe before reacting. Each action, think, hear, evaluate. It's just kind of like the antidote for knee-jerk reacting to things. Just saying breathe. I have some people checking out. Janice is saying good night. Tim Lorenz is saying good night. Good night, guys. I'm just gonna clean out these banners, and I just figured everybody could do it with me. We have Pixie's Fantasy Designs. Look at that one. That is from Helen Wagner, who was on last week. That's her website where you can get her jewelry and resin fun stuff. Delete that banner. We have the Angel Channel Show at gmail.com. I'm not going to get rid of that banner. That's the Angel Channel Show, which may make a return very soon. I think Brian is just taking a break. We've got gracegrella.com. I'll probably leave that one too because I know she'll be back. These are some of my banners. We've got Fine Art America. This is Brian's artwork, where you can get Brian's stuff. Great episode, Michael. Much love, Helen. Thank you. Time to say goodnight, Gracie. All right. See, 10 o'clock. I guess that's my sweet spot. I'm just going to go through these banners. You guys don't have to do it with me. We had Andrea Mason on the show, AndreaMasons.com. She was pretty awesome. We had True on the show. She was also very awesome. A girl named True. I only know one person named True, and her story is amazing. If you like this show and this format and me and the people, look for the episode with True. It's called A True Story, and it was an awesome episode. True was a great guest. We have Ace the Speaker, so that was Asaph Mendelgreen. I'm not sure how to pronounce his last name. He wrote a book that we talked about. He was also pretty awesome. We had Raphael on the show, Act Like You Know, Raphael Kamensi, who is in Vienna, who's an amazing spiritualist, shaman, tarot reader, all of those cool things. And that's his banner. I'm going to clear that one out. I see some comments coming out. You've had some amazing guests. I have had some amazing guests, which is why I figured this might be a cool little segment, right? To clean out these banners with you guys, so we can remember the guests and give them a little bit of homage. We had Heaven on the show. Heaven is a friend of mine's daughter who is a singer who has an amazing song out. We played the song. We spoke to her. She was pretty amazing. Mary Jean loves the Crystal Guy. Oh, so you have seen the show before? Yeah, the Crystal Guy. Right, you said you came from Danielle, so you've been watching since then. Yeah, Brian Christopher was definitely amazing. We had Raven on the show, Lead with Energy. She was pretty awesome. She leaves tarot cards around in different locations, and people just kind of find them, and they're supposed to find them, and that's really the truth. So, all right, let me just delete that one. Oh, and this was Jesse's new project, Fucking for the Future, his new comic book. So fundmycomic.com/fucking. I think he was pretty proud to get that past the censors. And it's a pretty cool comic and a pretty cool story. I must admit, Jesse Blaze, very talented human being, and he wrote that and had one of his amazing comic book artist friends draw that. This was a book I think that somebody had mentioned. So sometimes when people are talking about something, I'll quickly throw a banner together. I don't remember whose show we talked about that on. Tim is saying, "Save my banner. I'll be back." That's great, Tim. You will be back. And yes, Jesse is an amazing human being. Again, he may, if I continue to procrastinate, he may show up. And there's BrianKutza.com. Brian Kutza, of course, was the Crystal Guy, or is the Crystal Guy, and we will definitely be having him back. I'm super excited for him. So that's Brian Kutza. Let me read that. And then, of course, we had Mary JG tonight, a new member. I'm going to leave her banner too, and I'm going to actually go check out her show after this. I want to see the clouds. I didn't get to mention and talk to her about the movie Nope. I'm sure she probably has seen it. If she hasn't, if you're still out there, you should check out the movie Nope. They specifically talk about an alien in a cloud formation, using the cloud formation for cover, and it's a very interesting movie, so you should check that out. And that is my last banner that I have in this segment. I know there's others in the Angel channel and all of that. Thank you, the 5 or 6 people who have stuck with me while I rambled and cleaned house. I appreciate that, and I don't know what else to say. I love you guys, man. This is what Metatron and other people are telling me I should be doing, is doing this show. So here I am. I'll see you guys next week. Oh, next week, let me bring up who I have for anybody left listening. His name is, oh my God, I didn't put it in my calendar, but I did put it in my StreamYard. Hold on a second. His name is Ezekiel. His name is Ezekiel Funches, and he has his own podcast called the Expanded Mind Podcast. So we'll be talking to him about consciousness and all sorts of stuff that I love. You ladies are listening to me ramble away. I'm here. All right, ladies. Well, let's go to bed. It's time for bed. I love you all, and I will see you next week. Here's my old intro as my outro for today.